This is how you grill a whole chicken with crispy skin and a whole lot of flavor. So follow me and let's turn up the taste. Today we're grilling a whole chicken. Why? Well, because grilling is fun. And because there's a whole lot less cleanup than when doing it in the oven, as well as you get that nice smoky flavor. So let's go ahead and get started. You can go ahead and do it like this. I wouldn't. Why? It creates a lot longer cook time. It's going to be harder to cook even. You may get the chicken breast overdone before the other parts are done. So the first thing we're gonna do is remove the backbone. Right here, it's the part with the tail. This is where the head used to be, and we're just gonna go ahead and cut that out and remove it. About a 1/4 inch on both sides. Now, for those of you who say that there's a lot of meat in that backbone, well, there is some, but I would say it's better off used as chicken stock. This is a great way to flavor chicken stock once you get this removed. Then we're gonna go ahead and use the other side. Yep, so that's the spine. You go ahead and drop that in some boiling water with wingtips, and that makes an amazing stock. Now, this is what's called spatchcocking a chicken. Right here, you take it, you've removed the backbone, you go ahead and you press down the middle, and a lot of people will tell you to go ahead and cook it like that. There's nothing wrong with that. Outside of having a really weird name, it does have some practical purposes in terms of allowing a much faster, more even cooking. But one of the main challenges with spatchcocking that no one ever tells you about, besides having to use this word with your guy friends, and that's odd. One thing that no one ever tells you is it just makes the protein a lot more difficult to navigate on and off the grill. I'm working with this. If you've gone this far, just take the additional step and cut it right down the middle. Now, while I like to use the scissors to remove the backbone, there's just a lot more meat in here for those scissors to get through. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use a chef's knife. Now you can cut it from this way, or if you wanna be a little bit more particular about how you cut it, just go ahead and flip it over here. You're gonna have to really get in there, all right? It's gonna take some strength to go through those bones, but it will happen. Look at that. Now we have 2 half chickens. These pieces individually are a lot easier to navigate on and off the grill than it would be as that whole bird. Trust me, I've done it both ways. This is much easier and the way I suggest you go. Now that I got this chicken prepared, I'm gonna go ahead and get the seasonings ready. All right, now that we have the chicken cut in half, let's just go ahead and get it really dry before we season it on both sides. We're gonna go ahead and get the skin side dry, and then we're gonna go ahead and get the other side dry as well, because we do apply seasonings to both sides. And of course, the drier the skin, the better chance you have of getting crispy chicken skin. No one wants that rubbery chicken skin. So we want to go ahead and try to get that as dry as we can. And actually, I'm just going to go ahead and leave it skin side down, because I am going to season this bottom side first. Now that I got the chicken totally dry, it's time to get it seasoned. I'm gonna use a couple different seasonings, but one thing I love to use is Top Gun Rub by my friends over at Code 3 Spices, not a paid post. I just really like this rub with chicken especially. Got me feeling like Tommy the Mav up in here. Tommy the Mav, I'm going all the way with Top Gun Rub. That couldn't have been any cheesier, I know. But anyway, I'm gonna season this side over here, the bottom side, and this part of the wing, whatever's sticking out. I'm just gonna go ahead and get that evenly coated. And feel free to apply a lot. A lot of it's gonna stick to the grill anyway. So now I'm gonna flip these over, got those seasoned on the bottom. Go ahead and flip them on over. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some Top Gun Rub to this butter. This is softened butter. It's been sitting out for about an hour. And you know, I just kind of eyeball this. It's about a tablespoon of seasoning to about 3 tablespoons of butter. I'm gonna go ahead and add in some olive oil too, about a ½ tablespoon, just to give it some viscosity. There we go. Now we're gonna go ahead and mix all that up into a mixture that we're going to apply to the chicken. So I'm trying to keep one clean hand and one rather messy hand here. Actually, I think that needs some more Top Gun right there. Let's go ahead and get that in. It's a little bit light. And look, yeah, there can be set amounts, but experiment. Use what you like. If you don't have Top Gun Rub, use whatever else you have in your cabinet that you like. I just happen to have this one in my cabinet and also really enjoy it. So now that this is done, we're gonna get this hand dirty again. We wanna go ahead and lift up the skin here by the thigh, right here, and also on this breast side, create a little pocket underneath. We're gonna get this butter mixture and we're gonna get it underneath the skin. And let it get nice and coated there. On that one, on that one. Rub it around. A bit more there. Okay, now over this side, create that little pocket underneath. And it gets a little messy, but isn't that what makes it fun, right? You're gonna get a little messy when you cook. It's like art. It's no different than when you paint, right? The good news is it all washes off. And there. All right, now anything we got left, we're just gonna try to apply to the skin. Okay. My hands are washed, and now it's time for the final step. What I have right here is JoJo Rub. It's a simple rub we created ourselves using common ingredients found in most kitchens, probably yours too. I've went ahead and mixed it with some baking powder. 3 tablespoons of JoJo Rub to 1 tablespoon of baking powder. You could have also used the Top Gun rub or whatever other seasoning you're using. I like this because it doesn't have a lot of sugar in it. Sugar can promote burning. Where I like the Top Gun rub is for that real herby flavor that it adds to everything. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this across the top. Now, why baking powder? Why did I use that? Well, because we've done experiments that show that baking powder helps promote a crispy chicken skin. So that's what I'm going here. Same method we've used on our wings works here as well. The reason I don't mix this in and put it under the skin is because some people have like a really delicate palate towards baking powder. So I don't want to overdo it. There's no need in putting it under the skin when putting it on the skin, over the skin, works just as well. So as you can see, we have a lot of seasoning on these. Go ahead and get it in all the nooks and crannies. Yes, I'm gonna need to wash my hands again, but it's a small price to pay for really great tasting chicken. Now that it's seasoned, let's head out to the grill. All right, we got this grill rolling at 375 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about where you want it. Somewhere between 350 and 400 is ideal. I like 375 based upon previous cooks. Helps render that fat in that skin to promote that nice crispy skin. Let's take a look inside. Right here, you'll see we have a 2-zone system set up in this oval style Primo ceramic grill. We have the direct heat over here and we have the indirect over here. Now, the key to grilling chicken, I think, like this, a whole bird, is that you only want to cook it over the indirect heat, so it never actually touches the direct heat. Here I have an awesome spatula sent to us by our friends at Mercer Knives. This thing is truly badass. It is a hell's handle, and it is just the perfect size for picking up this chicken so I don't have to wash my hands yet again. Now what I do is I will put the breast side facing the more direct heat. It's a thicker cut. That's where it's gonna need a little bit more heat to cook evenly with the dark meat, your thigh and your leg down here. From here, it's super easy. Just close the grill. That's it. That's all you have to do. You have to wait about an hour, and it's usually done. That hour can fluctuate depending upon the size of your bird, as well as the consistency of the heat in your grill. That's one thing I love about the ceramic. It stays really even for a very long time. Another quick tip right here, no matter what type of grill you're cooking on, it's typically going to have 2 sources of airflow, one at the bottom for the coals and one at the top. When you're cooking chicken, it's really important that you want to leave this airflow unit, what's it called? Do you know what it's called? Vent. Cameraman says it's not an airflow unit, it's a vent. But you want to leave this top vent open to create that convection style cook, right? If you close up that top, it's going to trap moisture in there. That moisture is the villain to crispy chicken skin. It's going to create rubbery chicken skin. So when we get that airflow moving across the top of the chicken, that's what's going to help render that fat and crisp it up. But we'll find out in 1 hour. Till then, I'm going to get a drink and I'll be right back. Take a look at that. They just hit an internal temperature of 165 degrees. And this is where cutting it in half becomes really practical. To remove this hot chicken spatchcock, you're gonna need a really big spatula, bigger than this, or like a pizza wheel, what's that called? A pizza peel. You'll need one of those. Most people don't have those sitting around the house, but when it's cut in half, it's simple. Just like that. One, all right, two. Total cook time from beginning to end was about an hour and 10 minutes. One thing you can do at home I did not do here, a couple tips. You could always drop some wood chips in here, whether it's pecan or apple or hickory, whatever you want to sort of add some additional flavor. The other thing that you can do is towards the end of the cook, when it hits about 150, 155 degrees internal temperature at the thickest part in the breast, you can go ahead and crank that up to 400 degrees. Again, I didn't do that here. It rolled pretty even at 375. Now, for my favorite part, the taste test. All right, so this chicken took about an hour and 10 minutes from beginning to end, and it reached an internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit at the thickest part of the breast. Did I say that outside? Maybe I did. But anyway, let's check out that skin. Can you guys hear that at home? So crispy. Why does that make a difference? Well, there's so much flavor, not only in the skin itself because it's fat, and as you hear me say every single video, the fat is where it's at. That's where meat gets a lot of its flavor from, but also, there's a lot of flavor added to the skin via our seasoning. So if that turns out rubbery and chewy and we can't eat it, not only is it no bueno, but we also lose a lot of the flavor that we tried to add to the chicken. It's a lean meat, so getting that flavor in is important. So let's cut it up and then test it out. Separating the thigh and leg is one of the easiest parts. I think one of the hardest parts of cutting up a whole chicken is separating this wing right here. Let's see how I do. I normally don't do very good, to be honest with you. Let's see, where's that bone at? It's right in there. And again, oh, that's still pretty hot. Not doing my best work here, guys, but, well, I told you, I'm not very good at that part. Let's see if I can do it better over here. Well, that side turned out a little bit better. Looks closer to a wing. And then right over here, remaining, we have the 2 chicken breasts. But as you can see, look at that juice coming out of that chicken. It's fully cooked. It is very juicy. You can see that flavor and the butter that we added under the skin. I want you guys to be able to see that. That's gonna add a ton of flavor. In fact, the chicken's gonna pick it up right from the cutting board. All right, I'm gonna go for this piece right over here. It was at the front. It's gonna have that crispy skin. Let's give it a shot. Man, that's a good bite. That's a really good bite. That chicken skin is so rendered. You can get all the flavor from the butter, from the Top Gun rub, from the JoJo Rub that got added on top, and then the addition of that crispiness and the fat from all that skin is just amazing. This is a great method you can use to turn up the tasty right in your own kitchen. Look, I love eating chicken, but really don't like the rotisserie that I get from the store. Why? It has rubbery skin. There's nothing better than a home-cooked meal. Try it at home. Let us know what you think in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Until then, I'll see you guys next time.